Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Modix video. So today's video is going to be one that is super important for all you players that don't want to play as Killjoy. We're going to be going over how to counter Killjoy with every single agent in Valorant so that hopefully you're able to start not dying to Killjoy's utility and winning more of your rounds whenever you're pushing sites that Killjoy commonly likes to hold. So to start, we're going to start out with Breach, and we're going in alphabetical order. So with Breach, I can't really think of one. And I know that's not a great way to start this video, but I don't think that he really has a counter to her. One thing that I would think of is his flash, but his flash goes away before you're able to peek, so it won't be too effective on that turret. But Brimstone will have one, and he's our next agent, and his smokes are going to be great. We talked about smokes in a previous video, and I'll be touching on more of them later, but just for right now, just think that smokes can be placed on side of the turret, like on top of it, and it's not going to allow that turret to see through it. Even if you peek inside the smoke, you're not going to be able to be seen unless you get too close to the actual turret. So just keep that in mind. This will change with other agent smokes, and that's all I'm going to say. Next agent that we have is Cypher, and with Cypher, what you should be doing is placing a camera to figure out where the utility is. Once you figure out where the utility is, you're able to play around it, like maybe use one of our other agents' abilities to go ahead and change like that out. You can figure out where it is, throw some sort of utility to destroy it. I'm thinking mainly rays. You can throw grenades at the turret or something like that, and it's going to really help you out. Moving on to Jet, we also have her smokes, which is really great because those smokes, you can curve them, so you don't even really have to peek. You just have to learn how to throw them correctly. It might be easier to peek, but the turret will get a glimpse of you. And whenever I'm talking about smokes, I'm mainly talking about the turret because that's one of the easiest abilities to counter when you think about it, because you just have to block its vision. So I really like the counter with Jet smokes. And then also another counter that Jet has is to the alarm bot. If you ever have the alarm bot going, then you just have to press S and then use your dash ability so that you dash backwards, because this is the only way I believe that you're not going to be able to be hit by that alarm bot. So it's a great counter to the alarm bot. That's it for Jet. So now let's move on to Omen. So Omen is one of those agents that we said that we'd be talking about a bit later in the video with the smokes aspect. We're going to still be using Omen smokes for the teleport, but it's going to be a bit different because Omen smokes are hollow. If you step foot inside of the Omen smoke, you're going to get shot at right away by that turret because it's going to be able to be seen, or you're going to be able to be seen by it. And that's just not too great. So keep in mind whenever you're smoking this thing not to run into the smokes, or the turret is going to lock onto you. And a thing about the turret is once it starts locking onto you, it's going to finish its 3-round burst and then it will stop. But if you do get locked on and you exit the smoke, just move left or right, because the turret's not going to be able to track you anymore. It's just going to shoot straight for the rest of that 3-round burst. So that's my trick with Omen. I guess another one could be his teleport. If you know where the turret is, you can teleport around it and use your utility in that sort of way. But I think smokes is one of the best ones to have with the turret, or not with the turret countering the turret, but then the teleport is another great option. Moving on to Phoenix, we have his flash, but keep in mind that with his flash, it's going to go pretty quickly. So you might just want to flash and then destroy the turret. But then Killjoy will be alerted that the turret was destroyed because she can just check on the minimap and see that it's not there anymore. Another way that Phoenix could work is by throwing that molly, maybe in like a doorway. Hopefully it destroys some of the utility. But I mean, I would honestly just flash and then destroy it yourself. Try to get close enough to utility and just destroy it as quickly as possible, because those stealth ones will destroy you if you get hit by it. So just try your best not to. Moving on to Raze, this is probably one of my favorite agents to use to counter Killjoy, because you're able to throw your nades into the sky so that it explodes midair. Once this happens, it's going to rain down 4 smaller nades that don't go off until they can hit the ground. And once they do this, they're just gonna explode and do a bit more area damage instead of just all in one spot. The reason why I like this is because let's say that Killjoy keeps placing her utility in the same spot. You can just throw that raised nade up in the air right above it and then let it rain down and hit it. You're just going to need to learn how high you need to throw it and where you need to throw it. So that's something to keep in mind. Another counter that we have with Raze is using blast packs at commonly held utility areas. So it's basically the same thing. Like if you're at a doorway where you know that Killjoy placed some sort of utility, just use your blast pack and try to clear it out. Next, we have Reyna. With Reyna, you can use her Leer and peek off of it to destroy the turret. That's similar with most of the flashes. You're just trying to counter the turret and hopefully destroy it so that it doesn't shoot you. So that's Reyna's way to counter. Moving on to Sage. Honestly, I had a bit of a hard time figuring out Sage's counter, but all I could figure out is maybe slow the areas where Killjoy could peek from once her utility triggers. Whenever a player plays Killjoy on defense, normally they're just going to sit back, not out in the open, and peek whenever like their turret gets engaged. Or if they see that the alarm bot goes off, they're going to stay back and cover, activate the nano swarm grenade, and then peek. So if you're Sage, you can just slow everything so that your team does not get picked off once the Killjoy peeks. Now, I already talked about how I like to use Raze to really counter Killjoy, but our next agent, Sova, is even better than Raze. You can use Sova's shock arrows to deal damage to the turret and most of the other utility. And then you also have two more ways to counter, so he's the easily most countered. That might have made sense. So our next counter to Killjoy is the recon arrows, because it should show you the utility. Once you figure out where the utility is, it's going to be way easier to go ahead and just destroy it or play around it. Maybe you see everything on like with your utility and then you just rotate to the other side because you don't want to deal with it. You're able to do this with the recon arrows. And if you use that recon arrow first, you figure out where the utility is, then we can use our shock arrows in like combination with the recon arrow to hopefully get that kill on the utility. It's not a kill, but like destroy. I don't know. Our third counter is using the owl drone. This is the best counter to Killjoy because you can figure out where all the utility is and even ping the turret for your other teammates. The reason why I like the owl drone is because sometimes you have to get close to Killjoy's utility. I'm talking about the alarm bot and the nano swarm grenade because they're stealth. The owl drone's able to go everywhere. Like it can go down low. It can go, I guess there wouldn't really be anything up high, but it's able to get close enough to all the utility and be able to spot it. So that's why I really like the owl drone as like entry to a site whenever a Sova's on my team and we're playing against a Killjoy, because you're able to figure out where all the utility is. So now our next agent that we're going to be taking a look at how to counter is Viper. So with Viper, she's always been one of those agents that I thought was just super powerful. And the reason why I think this is because you're able to take down and reactivate her wall and her smoke. I think that it's a great idea to throw your smoke on top of the turret because you don't actually have to destroy the turret. And if you're able to like maybe learn a lineup for where the turret is commonly placed, I might be able to figure some of these out. So let me know if you want to see this. That like seems really complicated though. But if you're able to do that, you can go ahead and like put up the smoke, and then you can have your team cross onto site. Then you can go ahead and put down the smoke and the turret's still up. Killjoy's not going to suspect anything because the turret didn't trigger, but keep in mind that there probably is an alarm bot somewhere on site, so you might need to destroy that first or try to get around it elsewhere. I mean, Jet can probably dash and try to clear it out, but that's going to alert Killjoy. So just try to be unpredictable. Maybe take a different area if you know that the turret's there, because in order to play against Killjoy, you're really going to have to be unpredictable, and it's going to help you out a lot. Hopefully this video did help you out by teaching you how to counter Killjoy so that you're not dying to her as much. And if it did, be sure to like the video and subscribe with notifications on, because we're uploading daily Valorant content every day, because that's what daily means. Let me know any videos that you want to see me make in the comments. And if you made it this far, go ahead and comment which agent you main in Valorant. Thanks so much for watching all the way through this video, and I will see you all in the next one.